Good morning. My name is Mike Perloff, and it has been my honor and privilege to be chair of this program since 1996. But before I begin the actual program, conditions warrant that I speak about a related topic. Members of the law enforcement, and I'm going to have to look at this, excuse me. Members of law enforcement enforce the law and protect the innocent from those who would do them harm. Detectives investigate crimes and search for verifiable evidence that is then used by prosecutors in the pursuit of justice. It's rare, but sometimes in the course of the investigation, you may find the perpetrators, geniuses that they are, put their plans in writing or make a video, or nowadays post on social media their plans, their goals, their motivation for what they're about to do. This happened last month in Israel. It began with the cross-border invasion of Israel and the well-planned killing, rape, torture, and kidnapping of men, women, children, and even little babies. We know this because the perpetrators made videos. The victims were targeted for one reason: because they were Jewish. Can we trust the mainstream media, the reports, what we hear, what we read? Well, think about this yourselves. I'm sure that many people in this room were interviewed by the press, and then when they saw the report, couldn't recognize anything about it, right? Right? That's correct. Well, as a result of the reaction to Israel defending itself, many members of the Jewish community no longer feel safe. Imagine that in this country. You know as better than I that reports of anti-Semitism and attacks on Jews because they are Jews has gone fantastically through the roof. Same time, there's demonstrations in favor of the perpetrators on college campuses and in cities throughout the country. Imagine if this was your group being targeted, how you would feel. Well, a large number of officials, a very large number of officials from the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey are, as we are standing here, as I'm standing here, and as we're speaking and listening, on their way to a huge rally in support of Israel in Washington, D.C. The expectations are that maybe more than 100,000 people. Well, I said this is before I get into the program. So it really is not the venue to go into this at length. So I would urge, if you'd like to look up some information yourself, not from any particular party, but nonpartisan, neutral sourced information, I'll give you two simple things to do. Look up the translated to English names of Israel's adversaries. What does it mean when you hear Hamas? That's just a word. I won't say a word. I won't say anything about it. Look it up for yourself. The other thing is, if that piques your interest, then look up what their foundation documents say is their reason for their existence, their motivation for what they do. Not what I'm saying, not what any partisan person says, what they carefully and thoughtfully put in their foundation documents. All right. People rely on the law enforcement community to protect them, you. And you rely on the law enforcement community where your family lives to protect them when you're not there. And we all know how much work goes into preparing. It's not just going out and doing your job. It's the intel, the background information, building networking and communication to find out what's happening. You don't want to be surprised. I have no doubt that if it had not been for men and women like you, things would be much worse here. Keep up the good work. All right, for that, we sincerely thank you. And thanks for understanding my need to say this. Now let's turn our attention to the reason we are gathered here today. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 Law Enforcement Appreciation Breakfast. Now keep in mind, look around, if we were to introduce all the dignitaries and all the important people, this wouldn't be a breakfast, this would be a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Very much so. So thank you for understanding that. There's a good number of people who would be here today accepting. They're either going to that rally I mentioned, or the League of Municipalities is meeting in Atlantic City. And there's one more thing. I got a call this morning from, some of you know Mike Cantner. He's the security at Rowan University. He said there's going to be a pro-Hamas rally today. And he wasn't sure, he told me yesterday, if he'd be able to attend. He just notified me that he can't. So there's other things that come up. Well, something good. Sometime around 9:30 or so, some very important little kids are going to be here. How many people remember in the past, please raise your hand, when the little kids would come in? Right. They're going to have cards for you. Thank you cards to law enforcement. Some of them will be scared, so be gentle. So whatever we're doing, we're going to stop for them, okay? We're going to be doing a 50-50, as we've done every year. And the proceeds from that 50-50 will be going to the Hero Scholarship Fund and the Holocaust Education Center. And so far, we've given, over the years, over $8,000. Hopefully, we're going to really make that go higher this year. And during the breakfast, there'll be some comments by different sponsors and supporters. Now, note that this is being videotaped. So if you're engaged in, because of your work, if you're engaged in some activity where you would prefer not to be photographed, please talk to the people doing the pictures, and they'll make sure that that doesn't go public. You also note on your tables the teddy bears. Well, this is part of a program that we did years ago where we ended up giving to law enforcement agencies, state, federal, and local, thousands of teddy bears that you would give to the little kids who were traumatized. And we found that we had some left, so we put them on their table. Feel free to take them with you when we're finished. I want to call your attention to the program agenda that's on your table. Everybody has one. This thing right here. And if you look on the back, you'll notice the list of every keynote speaker and every main honoree that we have had since 1996. And these people keep coming back for some strange reason. We'll hear about that later. If your name is on this list, if you were ever a speaker, if you were ever an honoree, I'm going to ask you at this moment, please stand. Please stand. Now, well, before turning the program over to our Master of Ceremonies, I'd like to extend my hearty mazel tov. Ask somebody else what that means later. My hearty mazel tov to our honoree, Gary Holden. It is now my pleasure, actually I'll be glad to sit down for a while. It is my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies. Since the 2022 Law Enforcement Appreciation Breakfast, Philip Aronow, who retired as First Assistant Prosecutor of Burlington County, has been our Master of Ceremonies. Previously, he was an Assistant Attorney General and served as the Chief of Prosecutors, Supervision and Training Bureau with the New Jersey Division of Criminal Justice. Phil joined the division as a Deputy Attorney General with the Organized Crime and Racketeering Bureau following the events of 9/11. 9/11. And Israel just had its version, didn't it? Many of you know him from his work with police chaplains and community outreach programs. His contribution to public safety goes much further than that. But in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce Philip Aronow. Philip.
Good morning, everyone. I first wanted to wish a special thanks to the members of the South Jersey Men's Club who prepared the breakfast today. There were more than 30 volunteers to prepare, set up, serve, and then break down after the event is over. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes, and planning for the next event will literally start as soon as we clean up the last table today. I also want to thank all of our sponsors for each of you for attending and supporting this event, and your agencies who have joined you in this effort. I also wanted to wish a special thanks to Kol Amei Synagogue for all their help and support to put this event on. As you can imagine, it's quite an effort to put everything together. Jason, wherever you are, thank you very much. At this time, what I'm going to do is ask soon Bill Fleischer, and I wanted Cantor Neil Schnitzer to come up. Bill's going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Bill's from Honoree, past president, and Cantor Neil will sing the national anthem. I would ask that a representative, we do this traditionally with each of the breakfasts, that a representative from the County Chiefs Associations, the County Detectives Association, County Sheriffs, join me on the right side, my right, for the presentation of colors by the Cherry Hill Honor Guard. I would also ask Cherry Hill Police Chief Robert Kemp to join us as well. So please come on up and stand with us. I'm going to ask Bill Fleischer to come up. He's going to lead us in. First, I'm going to ask for the color guard to come in, but Bill is going to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance following the presentation of our nation's flag. Honoree is an organization of Jewish members who serve as first responders, law enforcement, fire rescue, and emergency medical treatment. Again, we thank Chief Robert Kemp and the members of the Cherry Hill Police Department who serve as honor guard and presentations of colors. We will then At the conclusion of the national anthem, we will take a moment of silence in honor of all those who wear the uniform of our country and law enforcement. Please keep all of our veterans in your thoughts and prayers as we celebrated Veterans Day this weekend. For all our veterans, I know you're all standing. We want to acknowledge your extraordinary contribution to our nation. In the words of President Ronald Reagan, we remember those who are called upon to give all a person can give, and we remember those who are prepared to make that sacrifice if it were demanded of them in the line of duty, though it never was. Most of all, we remember the devotion and gallantry with which all of them ennobled their nation as they became champions of a noble cause. Bill.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. And may I say I've been to much smaller bar mitzvahs than we have here today. And when we look at this flag and we present our arms and our pledge, we remember that we're pledging allegiance, our fealty, our loyalty to that symbol of this great country and its Constitution and its freedom and liberty it's given all of us. It's a sacred pledge, and we do it heartfelt and remember in these times of danger and all the good works that you in law enforcement do to protect all people, regardless of any political or ethnic or religious bent. That is noble. And when we pledge allegiance now, let's keep that in mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Cantor.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Oh.
Everyone, please be seated. I'm going to call up Rabbi Louis Aaron for the invocation and to give thanks for the food called the hamotzi.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. First, I'd like to extend you a welcome on behalf of this congregation, Call on Me, of which I am a member. And I've been a member in this building for over 30 years. So it's been a pleasure always for us to be able to host the law enforcement breakfast. And it's such a pleasure for us to do it again this year. So on behalf of all my other fellow members, our clergy, welcome. Welcome to Call on Me. And we wish you all the best. And thank you from the depth of our hearts for all that you do for us, for our community, and for everyone here in South Jersey. The world's not working so well. You may have noticed that. Mr. Perloff mentioned earlier the troubles, the war in Gaza. We've been preoccupied for the last year and a half with the war in Ukraine. Those of you who still have the courage to read the news know places throughout the world where other horrible things are happening. And in some way, we're very lucky that we are living in an island of peace. And a lot of it is due to not only the good work that you do, but you being the good people who do it. So I want to thank you all also very much. I want to thank Michael for talking for a long time so I don't have to give a long talk. Because I have the most dangerous job here, that is, I'm standing between you and the food. But I'd like to begin with a prayer. This is a prayer written by a colleague of mine. It's not my words, a Rabbi Matt Friedman, which he says, "We give thanks, grant us courage, bless us with your peace." Those are great values, Hebrew midot, thankfulness, courage, and above all, peace, shalom in Hebrew. So he wrote, "For those who went into danger, we give thanks. For those who remain behind with the infirm and injured, we give thanks. For those who thought of others first, we give thanks. For those who offered comfort to others, we give thanks. For moments of unknown, grant us courage. In times of fear, grant us courage. When called upon to stand for the rights of others, grant us courage. When others call for our destruction, grant us courage. When the enemies of freedom lash out, bless us with your peace. When the darkness of hatred descends, bless us with your peace. When we feel the urge to trample and destroy, bless us with your peace. When we look to the future of your universe, bless us with your peace. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel. Adapted from the book of Psalms. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens grant us the courage, the wisdom, the understanding to make peace here below for us, for all those we hold dear, and for the entire world. And let us say, Amen. So, many cultures and traditions have the practice of giving thanks before eating. That's a strong part of the Jewish tradition. In fact, we have all sorts of opportunities to give thanks and have special liturgical formulae that we call brachot, sometimes translated as blessings, that we say before we have the opportunity to do something good, after we have the opportunity to do something good, when we see something wonderful, when we deal with fear, for all sorts of things, we have blessings. In fact, we are told that we have to say 100 of these each day just to be alert to the goodness in this world, because sometimes it's hard to lose that. It doesn't always look so good. Well, one of our best things to say blessing over is breakfast. So we use the standard bracha, blessing, over food, which gives thanks to God for the one who creates food, because we can't thank everyone in our huge supply chain to thank them personally. So hopefully we'll thank God, and God will thank everyone who helped, including all my fellow members of the men's club who worked so hard. So the blessing goes in Hebrew. You can follow along. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We bless you, or praise you, or honor you, or extol you, dear God, sovereign of all there is, who brings forth food, bread, from the earth. And now we can say, Amen, and I'm going to let someone else direct you to eat. Be well. In Hebrew, to eat is b'tei avon. You can translate that as bon appetit.
Thank you. All right, now the good stuff. First, this is the largest response we've ever had for a law enforcement breakfast, as everyone's noted. So give yourselves a round of applause. That's fantastic. For those who have been here before, we traditionally have the buffet tables inside the room, but since we have a large crowd, we've moved the buffet tables to the outside. We also have 2 lines on both sides, and we started it from both ends, so 4 tables can go at once. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask for our honorees table to start us off. Would you please start to your right, and then the other 3 tables that are on my right, and to the left, the 3 tables, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll proceed with these tables in the middle. So to your left, if you'll go to your left, and to your right. Now we're also going to have speakers once you've grabbed your food and started while you're eating. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So for now, enjoy. Superintendent of the New Jersey State Police, Carl Williams. We've had many honorees, and Mike acknowledged and recognized all of those past honorees and keynote speakers. Other returnees have included the U.S. Attorney, various state attorneys general, county prosecutors and their chiefs, judges when they were allowed to attend, and federal, state, county, and municipal law enforcement. There must be a reason why everyone chooses to return and join us. Let's ask 2 of them. It's my honor and privilege at this time to have Evesham Chief of Police Nick Matteo and New Jersey Superintendent Carl Williams to the podium to speak. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. When Mike Perloff called me and asked me if I would do this, I was a little reluctant. And he said, well, what's it going to take? And then he offered up the fact that I'll put you in front of the state police because you're a municipal officer. Carl Williams, please laugh with you. But that's an inside joke with Carl and I. Anyway. The best answer I can give you about why I continue to come, and it's been 26 years, and I know there's been a couple years in between that we didn't have this, but my answer to that is that I wanted to continue to see what my fellow law enforcement professionals were doing out there to continue the work that we had started. I remember the day I got my award, I left here with my wife, and I said, they just gave me an award for what I perceived to be my job. And I was doing that every day. So it wasn't a distinct honor, and I really felt privileged to have that awarded to me. Through experience, I have found it's been so important to maintain contacts and establish trust within the communities that we serve. I come here today to watch and see what other departments are doing. I can't emphasize that enough to all of you. In Evesham, it was an anti-Semitic incident that happened, and I didn't know where to go. Being Roman Catholic, we take the church, draw a circle, and everybody in that circle belongs to that parish. Not so in the Jewish community. So I started looking, and I came upon Rabbi Gary Gans, who's here with us today. And not only did I become, I believe, a trusted friend of the rabbi, but we spent many days together talking over issues, and I was included in many Jewish holidays with his family. I'll be ever thankful for that, Rabbi. The same goes with other organizations such as the NAACP. I established a trusted relationship with Roosevelt Nesmith, who headed that organization in South Jersey, and together we would have breakfast at least once a month to discuss our issues and their issues. I've discovered several unbelievable issues that they perceived were the problems with police. They actually at one point believed that we sat in the back room at roll call and decided what ethnic group we were going to go out and get today. That was their perception, and it was reality to them. We worked through that. There are others that I'd like to thank for bringing me to where I was 26 years ago. And that was Bill Flesher from the Shomrims. Bill took me, introduced me to Shomrim, the Law Enforcement Jewish Officers Association. And Bill is a former Philadelphia police officer, FBI agent, and also a customs official. Bill, have you made up your mind what you really want to do in life?
I want to be Nick Matteo.
Bill was known as Mad Dog Flesher, the toughest Jewish cop on the street in Philadelphia. If you haven't reached out to your major contacts in town and established trusted relationships with them, you can save yourself a lot of grief and a lot of time by reaching out now and making those contacts. And when trouble starts, they know where to come and you know where to go. I would add that to get to the end of this thing, that there's been so much controversy over social media. Well, I can tell you, you can use it to your advantage. And I'd like to cite my former police department, Chief Walt Miller and his staff, for creating their Facebook page. Every resident that's on social media in Evesham Township knows exactly what our police department is doing. I think he invented incident situations with a cop, coffee with a cop, pizza with a cop, basketball with a cop. Right? You got to be running out sooner or later, Walt. But no, this just goes to show how you can turn something that some people perceive as evil into something good. I've noticed there's many other police departments that are doing it now. I will end this with, I wound up with a great friend, I think, Mike Perloff. I've added him to my friends list many years ago. Amazingly, Mike and I have been in contact with each other at least once a month for 26 years. Not only to discuss these issues, but all issues that are going on out there in the world. I want to thank you for allowing me to come up today and give a speech. And I'll now pass the chair to the New Jersey State Police. That's you, Carl.
At this time, I was told that the kids are ready, so I'm going to ask them to come in. And thank you again, Nick. Nick, thank you, sir. thank you again to all the children that came and shared the cards. Without any further introduction, Carl Williams. Sir.
Thank you, Dave. It's a special part of the morning, right? This is great. This is wonderful, and we appreciate it. On behalf of Colonel Callahan, I'm going to be representing New Jersey State Police today. He's down in Arizona with one of the other problems we have in this country with the illegal immigration coming up, and there's some kind of meeting down there that he is. He would have liked to have been here today, but he unfortunately he's down in Arizona, as I say, and he gives his regrets. Good morning. It's great to be here. This is something I look forward to every year. I get the call from Mike Perloff saying, "You want to be there?" I said, "Yep." He said, "Put it on your calendar." I said, "Okay, Mike." You know, it's been a tough couple of months here, with especially for the Jewish community, and I just kind of shake my head. It's unreal what's going on in the world. I want to, 1964, I went on the road as a young trooper in Port Norris, Cumberland County, and things have certainly changed in the law enforcement community since March of 1964. And I want to especially acknowledge all the supervisors, the chiefs, lieutenants, captains. You got a tough job out there. Sergeants, it is, it's not like it was in 1964 or thereafter, but you're doing your job, and personally, I thank you. I appreciate all that you do. Not all of our fellow citizens appreciate all that you do, but you hold the country together. And, it's a great country, the United States of America. I'm just, sometimes I just got to shake my head and say, why are we going this way? But I don't regret any of the time that I was with the New Jersey State Police, 35 years. I always, my wife said, "You have a mistress, don't you?" And that's the New Jersey State Police. I said, "Yes, I do." And the other thing she always would say to me is, "I'm on a need-to-know basis, aren't I?" I said, "Yes, you are." But that's the way it is. And she put up with it for 35 years. Again, I'd like to acknowledge the Jewish community for this every year. You do a great job. Where's Mike at? He's out getting showers. Michael, you do a great job. And all the, I think we ought to give Mike a round of applause. And with that, I'm going to sit down. All of you be safe and healthy out there. Take care of your rank and file, your patrolmen on the road. They're the most important people out there right now. And we as supervisors have got to take care of them. So again, God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Colonel. I would like to introduce Helen Kirschbaum and Rhonda Chevron from Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey.
Thank you, and good morning. My name is Helen Kirschbaum, and it is my privilege this morning to be speaking to you representing the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey and all of its agencies. I am the director of the Esther Robb Holocaust Museum and Goodwin Education Center, a department of the Jewish Community Relations Council, one of the many agencies of the Federation. Our mission is to work to make sure that everyone in our community feels safe and accepted. We work to combat hate and prejudice regardless of race, religion, or ethnicity. And we could not be more appreciative of the support that the law enforcement offers us throughout the region. The partnerships that we have with police departments are invaluable, and we thank each and every one of you for your dedication and the valuable work that you do. Earlier today, as you've heard, almost all of our Federation leadership and hundreds of members of our community left to join tens of thousands of Jews and Friends of Israel from across America who will unite on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. They are all gathering to show solidarity with Israel, demand the immediate release of the hostages, and to condemn anti-Semitism. But there are so many ways to make our voices heard in the fight against hatred. And today I'm here with some members of the Federation leadership team and my JCRC partner, Rhonda Chevron, the director of the Bookmates program, who would like to share some of their ideas with you.
I'm much shorter, so I don't know. Okay. You know, I'm a little nervous, but I will say I'm in probably the safest place to be right now, so it's all good. I'm going to put my glasses on so now I can see. Today I'm honored to address you on a matter of great importance. The Blue Square campaign, and I don't know if everyone can see that I'm wearing it. Jewish people represent 2.4% of the U.S. population, but we are victim of over 50% of the religious hate crimes. In a world where diversity should be celebrated, it is disheartening that prejudice and discrimination persist. The Blue Square campaign stands as a powerful response, a collective effort to eradicate the shadows of hatred and bigotry against all. It is a symbol that unites us of all backgrounds and the fight for tolerance and understanding. It is a statement that we stand shoulder to shoulder against discrimination and intolerance of any type. Anti-Semitism, you know, we've been talking a lot about Israel, but anti-Semitism is not just a Jewish issue. It is a human issue. It is an assault on the values that we hold dear: equality, justice, and the right of every person to live free from fear. By embracing the Blue Square campaign, we declare that hate has no place in our communities. Please refuse to be silent bystanders and wear a Blue Square pin. They're outside the door. I don't know if many of you have seen, there's a national campaign. So please take it, wear it, and stand up to hate. I'd like to also mention the JCRC's Bookmates literacy program. It's a literacy program that trains and sends volunteers to read with K through 3 students throughout all of South Jersey. We have over 150 volunteers, and we are currently working with 3 police departments. Camden County Police Department is in their 9th year of reading with us. Cherry Hill Police Department is in their 7th year reading with us. And Evesham Police started this year. We are so proud. We know that this helps ease the sometimes frayed relationships between law enforcement and community. The police officers read one-on-one with young children weekly. The mutual respect that has developed over the years between officers and children is evidence that this initiative is an important part of community policing. We'd love to have more area, police join us. We service schools in Florence, Mapleshade, Pine Hill. We are literally in so many districts. We're in 38 schools throughout 3 counties, and we would love for you to join us. Thanks.
But no matter how you decide to use your voice, We know that you are on the front lines of standing against hate in our communities. And on behalf of everyone at the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey, we extend our most sincere thanks for all that you do. And also a special thanks for choosing our Rob Goodwin Education Center as a special recipient of today's 50/50 raffle. Thank you.
Next, representing the Jewish war veterans, I wanted to introduce Steve Sunshine. What a great name, huh?
Good morning. I really was amazed to see how many people are here. I'm very proud that we're able to host this breakfast since I belong here. Anyhow, it's an honor to be here with you. My name's Steve Sunshine. I'm the President Commander of the Führer Wolf Post 126 of the Jewish War Veterans of Cherry Hill. I was a captain in the United States Strategic Air Command in the Air Force during the Vietnam conflict. At a very special project a few years ago at a restaurant in Pennsauken, the JWV hosted and fed 275 troops who were about to be deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq. That event, which I attended as a spectator, really inspired me to become a member of the Jewish War Veterans. The Jewish War Veterans was chartered by Congress in 1896 as one of the first formal veterans service organizations. Back in the 50s, some of our members got together, and a few of the posts in the area, one in Woodbury, us, and the Wolf Post, joined together and had 300 members. It was the largest, one of the largest JWV posts in the country. Our largest fundraiser events occur on the holidays, the 4th of July, Veterans Day, and Memorial Day, and our post collects donations at the Acme and Eagle Plaza, the ShopRite stores in Delran, Cinnaminson, and Ark Road. And this allows us to help military families while family members are deployed overseas. We presented the Wounded Warriors building at Fort Dix with a fully furnished day room and a kitchen suite for the enjoyment of our troops. We outfitted a lounge at the Vineland Veterans Home with furniture and provided their medical unit with a special chair for paralyzed patients and veterans. We have a variety of events at the Vineland Home, such as bingo, holiday parties, and this summer we hosted a barbecue where we flipped burgers and hot dogs and served the residents. It was our pleasure to meet many of the veterans there and their wives who are also there. Our recent national commander is Colonel Nelson Melitz, who would be here today had he not been on the bus to Washington. Some of us had the honor of accompanying him to Congress, where there was a joint session of the House and the Senate, where he presented his thoughts on anti-Semitism. Post 126 is known as the go-to post if you want something done for veterans, and on the national level, we are one of the #1 posts involved in Veterans Affairs. Now you know why it's my honor to be able to tell you about the Jewish War Veterans, Führer Barrig Wolf Post 126, and it's an honor to be attending this breakfast with you today, and we really appreciate you. Thank you.
I next wanted to introduce Jillian Burkett from the Camden County Hero Scholarship Fund. If you bought 50/50 tickets, thank you so much for supporting this effort as one of the recipients, as well as the Goodwin Center, who are the beneficiaries of the drawing.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you for having us. We're from the Camden County Hero Scholarship, and we're a group that works together Julian is one of our hard-working individuals, as are the other members of the Hero Scholarship that are over there. We appreciate immensely the support that you're giving us and the honor of being here today, and we want to thank you. You mostly all law enforcement people here in the room know what our goal is and how we try to be there when you need us, and it is our hope as members of the Camden County Hero Scholarship that the only time we have any communications or time with you is with your supporting efforts and nothing more than that. But thank you all. We really appreciate it, and have a wonderful day.
Representing the Anti-Defamation League is Andrea Hoffman. And Andrea, if you'll come on up, Andrea is going to introduce our keynote speaker, Executive Director Mitch Sklar. So thank you. Nice to meet you.
Good morning, everybody. Just really quick before I introduce our keynote today, I just wanted to give a brief mention of my organization that I represent. I work for the Anti-Defamation League's Philadelphia Regional Office. We serve Eastern Pennsylvania, Southern New Jersey, and Delaware. I'm fortunate enough to be our liaison for our local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. I see many familiar faces in the room, and I just want to say personally, thank you so much for all of the work that you do day in and day out. I manage and respond to all of the bias and hate incidents that get reported to our office by members of the community, and I provide investigative assistance and training to many folks here in this room, and we could not do the work that we do without every single one of you here. So just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do. So this morning we are fortunate enough to have Mitchell C. Sklar as our keynote. He was appointed Executive Director of the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police in April of 1999. As the Chief Executive Officer of the association, he is responsible for overall administration, professional services, education and professional development, government and public affairs, publications, budgeting, and staff management of one of the largest police executive organizations in this country. Mr. Sklar is also responsible for leading the New Jersey State Associations of Chiefs of Police's law enforcement accreditation program, which administers the voluntary audit and accreditation of police and other law enforcement agencies throughout the state. Prior to joining, Mr. Sklar served as legislative advisor for law enforcement, criminal justice, judiciary, and related issues for a United States Senator in Washington, D.C. He also served as Director of Government Relations for the National Association of Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Counselors, and an Assistant Municipal Court Prosecutor, and as a Judicial Law Clerk in the Superior Court of New Jersey. Mr. Sklar received his Juris Doctorate degree from the Rutgers University School of Law, a Master of Administrative Science degree from Fairleigh Dickinson University, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Politics and Government from the University of Hartford. He has completed the Police Legal Advisors Training Program at the United States Federal Law Enforcement Training Center and is a Senior Leadership Program of the UK College of Policing. In his spare time, Mr. Sklar is an adjunct professor with the Monmouth University Department of Criminal Justice's graduate program and is a member of the Legal Officers section of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Please give a warm welcome to Mitchell Sklar.
Well, my mother must have written that. So thank you all very much. Thanks for that very nice introduction. Thanks to the Men's Club, obviously, for organizing this year after year. Thanks to Mike Perloff for asking me to be here. Thank you all for that warm welcome. And I know that's a lot of thank yous for an early Tuesday morning. And we've heard an awful lot of thank yous all morning, especially these wonderful things here. I'm going to take that with me. That's actually what I wanted to speak about for a few minutes. After Mike asked me to say a few words at the breakfast, which I was happy to accept. I've been coming here for many years, and it was time for me to earn my breakfast, so I said sure. And I've been trying to figure out what it is I could say that would have some meaning for you all for this event. And the perils of being at this part of the agenda is almost everything I wanted to say has already been said. But I did want to talk about that topic of thankfulness. I thought that was appropriate. We're here at an appreciation breakfast. We are on the cusp of our great national celebration of Thanksgiving, where all of our communities take time out, regardless of who they are, where they're from, how they speak, how or if they worship. Everyone joins together on that day to give thanks. And so I thought that would be the topic I would speak about. And again, much of what I wanted to say about that has been said, but there are a few things I think I do want to talk about. First, I want to say that looking at the horror and craziness around the world, I've never been more thankful to be an American than I am now. I've never been more appreciative of this country than I am right now, and grateful for all that it has given my family. I'm glad to be able to give that kind of thanks today. I'm also appreciative that for the past 25 years, as you just heard, I've had this role, the honor of being the executive director of the State Chiefs Association. And I think, having had that role for a quarter of a century, it has given me a kind of a unique point of view, right? I think I can say after all that time, I have one foot firmly planted in the law enforcement community. However, I'm not a police officer. I've never been a police officer. So I have my other foot firmly planted in the community at large, in this community. So I think I have a perspective from both camps, so to speak. One foot in the law enforcement world, one foot in the general community. So standing in that camp with my fellow members of the public at large, I want to say how important things like this are. Expressing your appreciation, your gratitude to those in law enforcement for all they do, all they stand for. Behind the scenes, things you'll never know about, but they're there for you. I'm preaching to the choir because you're doing it. This event you hold every year is showing that appreciation, but I hope that you will bring that message back to your family and your friends, your work colleagues, your neighbors, how important it is to show that appreciation, how meaningful it is for you to do that. We all know that there are some voices, a lot of voices out in the public that aren't so appreciative. And those voices often have a very big megaphone and hold positions of power and influence. The mass media, the entertainment world, unfortunately some members of elected and appointed officials are not so appreciative. And it's easy to keep your head down and just assume that our friends in the law enforcement world know you appreciate them. So I would encourage you to do just like, again, preaching to the choir, you all are doing here now. It doesn't have to be a nice big breakfast. It could be any gesture, large or small, but it is important and it's meaningful. And I know they appreciate it, and I'll speak to my colleagues in the law enforcement world in a moment. But it is worthwhile and it is important for you to make those expressions of thanks to the men and women in law enforcement. Now, standing on my other foot, back in the law enforcement world, I want to say to all my colleagues here, first of all, how great it is for you to show up, because that's what the message I want to give to you. That when people from the community at large make that effort, and they give those messages of appreciation and thanks, don't assume they know you appreciate it. Don't take it for granted. Make sure you express that appreciation, that it is meaningful to you, that it is important to you and to the men and women that work for you and with you to hear that. Let them know that you're thankful for their appreciation, for their gratitude. It will be meaningful to them, I'm sure. Again, stepping back into the civilian world, I know it's appreciated when the acknowledgment's given, when that thanks is shown. I get invited in my role to events like this all over the state throughout the year, and I accept those invitations, as many as I can. Thankfully, most of the time I'm not asked to speak, but I accept those invitations because these are great events. It's putting into practice those things that I think are important, I just mentioned. The expression of gratitude by the public and the acknowledgement of the importance of that gratitude by our law enforcement colleagues. You know, we've had all these thank yous all morning, and those are great things. The posture of gratitude, having that come into your life, I personally know the power of it. a few years back, I went through a very significant health crisis. And one of the things that came out of that was the power, the transformative power of gratitude. It has left me changed for the better. And I'm an evangelist for that. I urge you to let that appreciation soak into your life. Don't take it for granted. When people do things for you or they show their appreciation for you, don't take it for granted. Accept that gratitude into your life and show that when that's given to you. It's powerful. It's powerful for you, and it's powerful to the people to whom you acknowledge. And speaking of acknowledgement, I want to acknowledge the winner of your award that's going to be given today, Chaplain Gary Holden. I've known Gary for many years, and have admired the work that he has done to make the chaplaincy program here in our state what it is. And I want to acknowledge all the chaplains in this state for the work they do. That is powerful as well. And you couldn't have picked a better winner for your award and a more worthwhile effort to acknowledge than the chaplaincy program, which I think kind of falls into the same themes that I had been thinking about. I had a lot more to say, but you've all said all of it before I got up here. So I want to express my thanks for the organizer of this event. I've always enjoyed coming here. I think it's important. I want to say thanks to all of my law enforcement colleagues. I know the demands on your time, the competing demands on your time and your attention. Believe me, I live it every day. I know it's not so easy to carve out time in the middle of the week, but I see so many uniforms here and suits with pins like mine on, and I appreciate that. And it's important for you to do that. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate all of you being here, and I really appreciate that really kind introduction. Thank you all very much.
I just wanted to take a moment out of order, and speaking of gratitude, to acknowledge Mitch Sklar. Mitch exemplifies law enforcement in this state. He has been recognized nationally for his leadership and his commitment, and anyone who has worked with him knows that he cares deeply about each and every one of you, which is why he leads the State Association of Chiefs of Police with such verve, such skill, and such professionalism. So I just want to thank you again, Mitch. At this time, I am going to ask that our 2022 honoree, Burlington City Police Chief John Fine, and President of the New Jersey chapter of the FBI National Academy, doing us proud in New Jersey, John, to make a few remarks. He is going to be presenting the award. I was also going to ask the prosecutors from each of the county prosecutors' offices to join me up here to my right. Atlantic County Prosecutor William Reynolds, Burlington County Prosecutor on behalf of Lucia Bradshaw's First Assistant Prosecutor Brenda Roman-Maneri, Camden County Prosecutor Grace McCauley. I know Jeff Sutherland, I spoke to him, was unable to join us, so hopefully there's a representative here from Cape May who can come up. Cumberland County Prosecutor Jennifer Webb McCrae, Gloucester County Prosecutor Christine Hoffman, and Salem County Prosecutor Kristen Telsey. Gary, would you join us as well?
Good morning, everyone. How are you? So today's been my lucky day, evidently. I walk in this morning and I see my lieutenant. He says, "Today's your lucky day. You've been selected for random drug screening." I said, "Thank you." I come here today. Today is my lucky day. I get to speak after Mitch Sklar, a wonderful speaker. Today is a lucky day. So hopefully I get to be lucky enough to get to 50-50 today. We'll see. Gary Holden, a legend. His name rings bells around the state, and I'm honored today to speak on behalf of past honorees who have gotten this before. I've actually received 2 awards, one as a secondary award and one as the primary award last year, and I was honored to be given the award by now Senator Gene Stanfield, a retired sheriff from Burlington County as well. When I was told I was going to speak today about Gary Holden, I was very honored. Gary has really taken our chaplaincy to the next level. The words I want to describe Gary Holden is selfless. I know I met his wife earlier today. Thank you so much for allowing him to be with us so much. I don't know if he's ever home, but I can tell you the impact that he has made on every community in the state of New Jersey, we can't thank him enough. So selfless is one big word that I could think of. Service. He is always looking out for somebody else. The mentorship is another word. He's always a good mentor. If you have anything, you need anything, you call him, and he's there with the mentorship. Just to kind of guide you through, and your department through, whatever incident they have going on. Just recently, he said that he was in Maui, working with the police departments out there, and working with resiliency around the country. Again, service and mentorship, we can't describe them more. And also partnership. In order to bridge gaps around the community, from the streets of Baltimore to, like I said, the fires out in Maui, to incidents around the country, Gary Holden always finds his way there. Not only not to be in front of anything, not to be involved in anything, but to help bridge gaps between law enforcement and the communities there. And this is why he is the recipient of this year's award. So again, I'm humbled and I'm honored to present this year's award to Gary Holden. Thank you, sir.
If I may, Prosecutor Christine Hoffman from Gloucester County nominated Reverend Holden. I just want to read what was written on behalf of Chaplain Holden. Reverend Gary W. Holden is founder, president, and CEO of the Police Chaplain Program. Chaplain Holden completed the Law Enforcement Adjunct Instructor Training Program implemented by the United States Department of Homeland Security, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center's Office of Training Management. Chaplain Holden is a member and is trained in pastoral, group, assisting individuals in crisis, advanced group crisis intervention, advanced assisting individuals in crisis, CISM application with children and managing school in crisis, from theory to application with the International Critical Incident Stress Foundation, and is an improved instructor. Chaplain Holden was awarded the prestigious Susan E. Hamilton PhD Award by ICISF at their World Congress in 2015 for his development of and work with police chaplaincy. Chaplain Holden is a member of the American Academy of Experts in Traumatic Stress and the National Center for Crisis Management. He is a counselor and chaplain with the New Jersey Disaster Response Crisis Counseling Team. Chaplain Holden is a member of the New Jersey Department of Homeland Security Interfaith Advisory Council. He is the senior chaplain of the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department, a chaplain with the New Jersey State Police and the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. He founded the Public Schools Police Chaplain Resource Program. He served as a chaplain after 9/11 at Ground Zero in New York City, working with the New York City Police and Fire Department and Port Authority Police. He is also a board member, senior chaplain, and the Emergency Chaplain Corporation Chairman for the Ford Chaplains Memorial Foundation in Philadelphia, from which he received the Legion of Honor Bronze Medallion Award for sacrificial service. Chaplain Holden was also involved in chaplain work with the Battleship New Jersey Museum in Camden, New Jersey, and is a regular speaker at patriotic events and services. Chaplain Holden has been involved with the Professional Working Group for the New Jersey Resiliency Program from the beginning in 2016 and has contributed to the development of the program. He was involved in teaching at the Resiliency Summit in October 2019 and each of the annual Police Chaplains Conferences hosted by the New Jersey Office of the Attorney General for the past decade. He is a Master Resiliency Trainer and coordinates the Master Resiliency Training for Chaplains and is a founding member of Resilient Minds on the Front Lines, LLC. Chaplain Holden is directly responsible for the establishment of the Police Chaplains Association and the training of all police chaplains throughout New Jersey. I think anyone who's worked with chaplains knows Reverend Holden. You get to talk now.
I am a preacher, you know, so, but it won't be long, believe me. Whew. Well, I'm not used to this kind of thing, believe me, I'm really not. That's not, as you can imagine, why I do what I do. But I'm so thankful for the South Jersey Men's Club, and I was here last year, did a little bit of the speaking, and was planning to come back again, but didn't expect it was going to be in this way. So it's a real honor. I want to just say, too, I've been to Israel 9 times, and this is my country, but my other favorite country is Israel. And one of our trained chaplains here in New Jersey, Rabbi, is in Israel right now. He'd been there 2 or 3 days, and he sent me a couple videos, and so right away I called him on the phone. He was in Jerusalem, and I called him on the phone. I wasn't sure I could get through, and I was able to get through, and he's there doing chaplain work in Israel, police chaplain work in Israel. And then he just sent me a picture that they made him a chaplain with the IDF, and he had showed me his credentials in the picture. And here's what he said to me on the phone. He said, "Your training has helped me do what I can do here in Israel. The training has been incredibly beneficial." So I live for this and to train chaplains. We've trained over 1,200 in the state of New Jersey, and more coming, more trainings coming. And I never expected it would ever get to that point when I was at the World Trade Center 2 days a week. Perry Messick's here. Perry, raise your hand. Perry's here with me. We met at the World Trade Center. He's in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, and we met there, and we've been chaplains ever since. But I never envisioned it would ever do what it's doing today. But I went back and was able to start a chaplain program in the Vineland Police Department, and eventually to work with Prosecutor Webb McCrae in the prosecutor's office and the sheriff's department. I never envisioned it would ever go beyond that. And I always say God had other plans. And there's no question in my mind that this is a calling. Those of you that are in law enforcement, this is a calling for you. You are called to do this, whether you realize it or not. And I think if you think about it, you realize that's the case. The same for us as chaplains. We're clergy and other things that we do, but we're called to do this. And most clergy probably would never consider being a police chaplain or would think they could do this. But those that do, the need is so great. And I recognized this when I was in Maui about 6 weeks ago. We were supposed to go to Maui to teach resiliency, and then the fires hit. So we contacted the department there, and we said, "I'm sure you don't want to have training right now." And they said, "No, we're not ready for that, but we need you more than ever." So 3 of us went, and we were there most of the week, and we were everywhere. We were in the forensics. They took us right into the burn area. Incredible. Most of the they have chaplains here. Most of the chaplains lost their houses. They lost their houses of worship. They burned to the ground. And I went to see the lead chaplain, who was 82 years old, and he was in a rehab facility. And I went to see him and have prayer with him. And he'd been doing this for 30 years, and the police wanted me to go see him because he had been such a big help to them. And that's what chaplaincy is really all about. So I went down there we were there to minister to the police department. That's why we were there for a week. And ended up also ministering to the chaplains. And then they ministered to us as well. And it's just a delight for me to be able to do what I do. I'm a blessed man. And we've been married for 53 years. And so I'm on the road a lot. Yeah, and then when I come home after a few days, my wife says it's time to go back on the road again. You know? I just wanted to close with this. One of the courses, and we teach 10 different courses in our 2-day basic training. We do a lot of other trainings too. And those of the chaplains have been through this. They know how well this equips them to be chaplains. But the last course we teach on the 2nd day is called Unity in the Midst of Diversity. And one of the joys of this whole thing is to see clergy from all different religions, everything you can think of that we have trained, come together, working together as chaplains to help the police department first and foremost, and then to help the community and bring everybody together. And they've made a great impact. And in the summer of 2020, when much of the country was erupting, New Jersey really did not erupt. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But one of the big reasons, is no question in my mind, is all the chaplains we have out there. That they're out there in the streets, and they were there with the people, and they were helping to diffuse and bring that level of tension down. So on behalf of all the chaplains, this may be my honor, but it really is an honor to all of them as well. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for this honor. And I'm just overwhelmed, but thank you so much.
You're in the middle, brother.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Thank you, congratulations. You're in the middle. In the middle. And I'm in the middle.
Come on over, John. Dave. Don't be shy. Thank you all, and congratulations. And before we move on, I just wanted to take a moment also to talk to Prosecutor Jennifer Webb McCrae. Gary's success, I know, has been championed by you in your office for all these many years, and he would not have received the support without your support. So thank you for everything that you've done. Our next speaker is Rabbi Gary Gans, and I was going to ask Rabbi to come up, and he would like to speak about his dear friend, Reverend Holden.
So first of all, Gary, your parents and mine had a great sense of humor when they named each of us Gary. Not realizing this name would come and go, by the end of the 50s, disappeared. I've never named a baby Gary in my entire long career. So it's great to have two of us up front here in the same room. I stand in your enormous shadow, Gary. I'm one of his trainees. I'm one of the 1,200 elite that learned from the master. He taught us patience. He taught us compassion. He taught us a sense of caring that continues in my mind. And I have lots of other credentials, but I learned so much from Gary that this past week I was called to the scene of a fatal car accident. And as I'm standing outside the car where the mother of the victim is keening, crying, wailing, his words were echoing in my mind. His meme, his favorite phrase that I heard over and over again is that our task is the ministry of presence. There were no magic words to share with this mother who was experiencing the worst moment of her life. I can only pray that she doesn't have any others that match it. There were no bullets, silver bullets of words that could come out of my mouth that could mollify her grief. But I was with her. Yes, I offered some prayer. I offered some sense of comfort, I hoped, but only because of what I learned at the knees of Gary Holden. I am grateful for the time that I have met with you, learned with you, emulated a piece of who you are, but you were with me at this scene, by name and by thought. So I want to close with a prayer. I found this ancient prayer in the Talmud, in Aramaic, and I've translated it because it's what one offers a noted and esteemed teacher that an individual will come upon, as I am right now. So here it is, an English translation. May you, Gary, be blessed and strengthened as you have blessed and strengthened your students. May you have peace, shalom, grace, kindness, mercy, long life, and everything you need. And may you always live in the tranquility of shalom. Thank you.
Following today's program, we're going to, as I indicated, start for the next program So what I would like to do is ask if a representative from the sponsoring organizations are able to join us and members of South Jersey Men's Club to do that, to please do so as everyone is exiting. We'll do a very brief meeting. All your thoughts and input to making it a success are appreciated. I also wanted to thank again all of the members of South Jersey Men's Club for this amazing breakfast. It would not be possible without all of their efforts, laboring not just today, but this is, as you can imagine, a long process to prepare and plan. So thank you all for everyone here. Thank you, gentlemen. Mike Perloff, again, thank you for all that you do with regards to this event to make it successful. I'm going to ask you to come up. We're going to do the 50-50 drawing, so I'm going to ask for our honoree, Gary Holden, to come up to do the drawing. I'm going to ask for South Jersey Men's Club Treasurer Stan Schumas to come up, and I'm going to ask for Helen and Jillian to come up, please, to since they are the recipients of what we do, the Goodwin, the Holocaust Education Center, and all that Jewish Federation does, and the Camden County Hero Scholarship Fund. Yeah, the first one we're going to do is the Esther Robb Holocaust Museum and Goodwin Education Center. Ma'am, Helen?
Yes.
We're going to ask Gary, and it's $1,000 that is going to go as a contribution to that agency through the 50-50 drawing. Gary, would you please pick the winning ticket?
Probably these first three are all the same. I don't know. That's how these usually work. 609878. 609878. Come on down. Come on down.
Cap, you want to say a few words?
Thanks for having me, and I'll donate it back.
Okay. We want the microphone in the picture?
That's it.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the Camden County Hero Scholarship Fund, similarly, $1,000. Sir?
All right. 609926. 926.
They left.
926. Oh, over here. There you got it. He's there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, do you want to say a few words?
Oh, do I want to say a few words? Well, I think this has got to be my 10th or 15th year here. Been a longtime member of the Men's Club, and it's a delight to meet all you guys and gals. And it's a special breakfast, as you can imagine, with what's going on in Israel. But thanks again for everything, for coming here like you always do, and it's really appreciated.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, Richard. Sure. Yes. So appreciate it very much. All right, at this At this point, that does conclude our breakfast. Thank you all again. Please take a moment. I'm sure there's a lot of faces each of you haven't seen in quite some time to catch up with old friends and colleagues. So thank you all for attending.